Hello guys, it's T.L.B.P podcast, also known as T.L.B.P. I'm Victor.
And I'm Adrian.
And, well, I don't remember what episode it is, because I never do, as always.
Episode 46.
46? Are you sure about that?
I'm almost positive.
Okay, well...
The longest ongoing... We did the same thing last week.
Okay,
you
well,
always make me have to check.
I can never remember what
every
episode
time,
it is.
Every time I have to check. Every single time. It's people must be annoyed at this part.
Yeah. They're just going to be like, how long is they going to do this for, man?
46 weeks of us trying to figure out what episode we've been doing.
Yeah.
It's episode 46.
Okay.
Last week we posted episode 45. So
So this is episode 46.
Yep, 46.
Okay. So today, you brought a guest.
I brought a guest.
You brought
It's more like he came to us, though.
Yeah, I guess.
So, I mean, we kind of met
We met in neutral ground.
Yeah. So my guest is Emmanuel.
Hi.
Or do you want us to use your stage name?
Emmanuel's good.
Emmanuel's good? All right. So Emmanuel is actually someone that I think I met before where I am now, but like, so here's the story between me and Emmanuel. Emmanuel probably doesn't remember this, but I'm almost positive I met Emmanuel. Okay, so I've talked a few times about how I do placement and all that stuff, and Emmanuel happens to be someone who works at my co-op / placement / what do we call it, an internship? I don't even know what to call it sometimes. He works there, but for whatever reason, I'm almost positive I had met him before I got there. I just don't remember where. And he says the same thing. He's like, we met somewhere. We don't remember where. Because, you know, it's also because he's really down to earth, and you know, he's Emmanuel. Everybody knows that. So everybody know that. Anyway, so Victor, you have the floor. Ask away.
Yeah. To give the rundown, if you're a first-time listener, we normally, one of either me or Adrian brings in the person. We ask that person, whoever brought the guest, doesn't end up having to ask the questions. The other person, in other words, the other brother, brings in like 3 questions or more for that person who comes. So my first question for you, what are your hobbies? What do you do besides co-op placement and other stuff?
Well, no. He works at
he works there
at the place where
so
we're not going to get into that because it's too complicated.
Okay, so I can't ask what his hobbies are.
Yeah, you can ask what his hobbies are. You
So
just
what
can't
are your
ask where he
hobbies?
works.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I work at the for charity organization, and I work with immigrants. So it's good stuff, and I work as a youth worker. Okay. So it's a pretty good experience for me. But away from that, I got hobbies, which I like doing music, playing soccer, coaching soccer, and doing lots of fun stuff, so playing volleyball. I keep myself very active.
So you like sports?
Yeah, I like sports, and yeah.
You can see I almost tailored my guest specifically for you.
I know. So let's go a little bit into music stuff. I've heard about your music, and I've heard your music. It's actually really good.
Thank you.
I'll probably link it in the description so you can hear it if you're interested.
Have you just like always liked music? What inspired you to create music?
Well, I started creating music at a very young age in school. I'll do drumming on the decks with my friends, and I would just freestyle to the drums, and I just create music right there while they're drumming, and I did that at a really young age. So, but I didn't take it seriously till after a while. I felt like I just kept getting inspirations of music, and I kept recording them, and I decided it's time to start singing them, and it's always been some part of me to do that. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because the reason my brother says he basically like tailored you as a guest is because I love sports and I like writing music as well. So.
That's actually
yeah. So when he literally says tailored, it's literally like we're like a match.
What's interesting? Okay, so Victor has this habit of like writing music, and for whatever reason, he writes things that are already written.
See, but the thing is, like, it's music since from before I was born, so I've never heard the song.
Yeah,
And then my brother's just like, "That's a song." He's like, "You never heard it," and I'm just like, "Oh, okay."
And then like what is it? There was this one time he like this piano chord progression. It's like it sounds so good, and then I'm like, "That's another song," and he goes, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah," and then I played it for him. He's like, "No," he's like, "It's so good though." I'm like, "And it's already taken."
Sometimes I think it comes with your how can I put it? You listen to stuff in a pre-meditated state, and you don't even know when you're doing that. Yeah. But you heard it somewhere and it sticked. And then you end up, the melody comes back, and then you hit it, and you don't even know when you do it. But when you're being creative, let's say good artists copy, then the greatest artist still.
I know.
So it's about being very creative with what you want to do. You just need, it doesn't, if it comes back, then it means there's something about a melody that you connect with, so you can use it to create in some other way, which would still be great at.
What I like doing is grabbing chords from like other songs and inverting them. And then using that.
Well, like one of the he's really gotten into this like more than he should, because high school's important. Remember that?
I still do school.
Right.
I'm a high grade student. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Okay. Let's just go with that.
What do you mean? Let's go with that. Have you seen my grades?
What was I saying prior to that? So yeah, he does a lot of that. But what's really interesting is, you know how like when you start, well, mostly when they start music, they go through the whole, there's multiple phases of music, like there's like, you gotta learn all the theories and all the practical stuff. And then like, once you know all that stuff, you enter the writing music part. He's jumping ahead. He hasn't learned all the theory part yet. He's just like, I'm gonna jump into this. Which is really funny.
With music, you necessarily don't have to
know theory.
For sure.
Theory.
Yeah.
You can. They're vocal specialists. For myself, when I started singing, I didn't know how to even produce music or how to play an instrument like very well. I just literally knew like the concept of music. I used to do lots of music with choirs and church styles and did a cappella styles, so I knew what it was like. But I knew I had concepts of ideas of music which no one had, which I knew were ideas I can work on. So from there I just kept developing these ideas and and just kept developing them to my own concepts of what I want to develop them to be.
What would you call your specific style?
Afrobeats. Afrobeats, and literally Afrobeats, it's a model for, it's like pizza.
Okay.
You have how do they call them? Different spiced or different types.
Different variations.
Different that. So you have like, you have a meat lover. You have a pepperoni. You have this. So that's how Afrobeat is like. So you have the Afrobeat. You have hip hop, Afro hip hop. You have Afro R&B. You have, so it's a whole genre of music. So it's quite big. But it's a model place for black music.
All right, that's good. No, because I remember when I heard, because you have a song that the first time I heard it, I was like, this is like, to me it was like super unique, like from anything I had ever heard before, and like I'm like, I've heard like Afrobeat before, but nothing like that. I was like, this is really good. And then like a few days later, I showed it to him, and he goes, as soon as it started, he's like, "Yo, this is really good."
Like I heard like the first like beat, and I'm just like, "Oh, this is good."
It was really funny, and I was like, "I don't know."
That's cool.
But that's what it is. I don't. Next question.
I don't want to get really nerdy.
It's good.
What do you use to produce your music? Like what software?
So I use Fruity Loops and Cubase. Cubase 6. And I do literally the digital musics. because it's kind of the modern era now, and music is more digital. You don't even put them on CDs no more.
Yeah.
Like you just stream everything right now and make money through that. So it's a better way to do music, and it's much more quicker and smarter. And you can do live instruments with it, like play the piano and the guitar that you want. And all that. And
You can sample your sounds
and put them on the music, so it's easier that way. Yeah,
For sure, yeah.
Okay, next question. Wow, we're running through my questions.
Well, I mean,
that's good. And you can
one of the things that, like, in my case, like, so I was working on this project. It's like I'm limited on what I can say. So I'm working on this project with a friend of mine, and I'm having to create digital music. And like because of that, I like dived full into like the synthesizer world, and it is like absurd how many synthesizers there are, and not just like paid ones, but like free ones. There's so much free like plugins, VSTs out in the world that it's crazy. Like there are what is it yesterday? I was downloading more synthesizers because I'm like to Victor, I want to get back into this during the winter break because I haven't been writing anymore. I'm like, I need to get back to that. So I started downloading. I got like all these like crazy piano samples, string samples. I got a few drum samples, and I downloaded like I think like 40 different plugins. Like, I'm running out of storage space for all this stuff. I'm gonna need another computer soon.
Yeah, because as like also just like the software updating gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
With most of those, like even the Fruity Loops 20 now, it's much more bigger than when it actually initially started. So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to rush through my questions. What was my next question? Help me out here.
Do you really want me to help you out?
Yes, I want you to help me out here.
Well, what's your third question? Well, you can't ask you can ask the question you always ask.
But like that's like a near end question.
But we don't actually know. Neither of us actually know the answer
that's
to
true. Because my usual question is, how did you two meet? Or what's
true. Yeah. So like literally we met at a placement initially, like officially. But I don't know. I think maybe we might have met somewhere before.
I think we met at so we both went to the same college, and I think we met at one of the events, either a sporting event or like some type of afternoon event that I attended. We probably met there.
Maybe we met at some place. But I also did like lots of volunteer work here in school, and also when I was in school, so I think maybe we kind of met maybe.
Yeah, because as soon as I saw it, like I remember the very first day, I was like, I bet you somewhere. I know I have. I'm positive. There's no way, right? And what's funny is that I'm taking the exact same program he took. So it's really funny because like we'll talk about our professors and whatnot. It's super interesting, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I don't know how I actually like, you know.
Yeah. But
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
It's I don't know how I know
it's
you,
like
but
when
I know
you
you.
it's kind of like, you know, when you see someone and you recognize their face but you can't place where you met them. It's like that. It's, well, for me anyway. I don't know about him, but for me it's like that.
Yeah, it's like the expression, what's his face? It's just like, I know his face, I just don't remember who he is, you know?
Yeah, right. Like there's
I wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you do?
I'm like I'm getting more like into like almost like pop music / hip hop / lo-fi. It's like this like whole world I've entered. That's morely the music I'm doing right now, because I'm like grabbing, like I'm using 4 chords, which is basically what pop music does, using those 4 chords and maybe making variations of that chord to make music.
In other words, looping.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing, and then throwing lyrics on top.
And how do you incorporate your music with school?
With school, well, I'm very like much oriented in like what school does with music. So I'm a part of the band. I help out with like events that happen. So like I normally help with like the dance the dance group in my school, so like I help record for them. And, like,
Does
they
it
don't
affect your grades?
No, no.
Just
Because I
joking.
noticed
Yeah.
Adrian was talking something.
Yeah.
Something
No,
about that.
like so. Here's the this whole month will be
Yeah.
like an artistic month for us because our last guest, he's a dancer. Actually, I spoke to you about him, we had a very interesting conversation with him. But this time around, we have you, and like now we're tackling the music side of it.
Yeah.
What's super interesting though is that looking at all, like especially with him, like in my case, I do a lot of digitals like dubstep and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I'll dabble into pop, R&B, whatever it be, right? Like one of the things that I don't know, I like to think of music as this ever growing thing. It's like the universe, it just expands and it just doesn't stop, right?
I think music is something for me. It's food to my soul. So it's something I live with.
Hello, you just look at me like that's deep.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So
deep
something
and
I
profound.
live with is something that has gotten me through a lot. Yeah. So music to me is a lot more than just music, than just genres and all that.
Yeah.
Away from, first of all, uplifting my music for people, I uplift myself with it, and I use it as a source of healing for myself. So
Yeah, actually, the best state one can start writing in is when they're joyful or like they're really depressed, which is like what most artists do, because that's when you.
Yeah, but
when you really
it's
create good
interesting.
stuff.
Writers say that the best time to write is when they're completely exhausted because all sense of like when you have an idea and you're like, I don't know if that's good. When you're tired, you don't care. You just want to get it done.
Yeah.
So you put whatever's on the page.
Last
you write,
night.
you write whatever's on the page because you don't care.
Yeah.
What's on the page or what people are gonna think because you just want to finish it and go to sleep.
You got to feel the melody of what you're doing. You got to feel the rhythm. You got to get into it. And know what you're trying to produce. Know what you're trying to create, and be specific to who you want to become in it.
Yeah.
That's how you
to yourself.
Yeah.
To yourself.
Because the music you
precise with it.
Yeah, the music you produce is you.
Yeah.
Basically.
So you gotta be. Yeah, it's like a poetry. You're putting out there. It's art. So you gotta have definitions of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to get as your outcome of it too.
See, like in my case, well, I don't know about you, for Vic, but for me, when I started music, I really got into it. I play the saxophone, so I got really, really into that. Like I was practicing, like it was like an addiction at one point. I'd practice. I'd go to school. I wouldn't have lunch. I'd be practicing. Then I'd do band either in the morning or after school. Then I'd go home, practice some more. Like I eat breakfast. I eat dinner. Do homework, then practice again. It was like this endless vicious cycle. Like it was crazy.
I haven't had lunch in a while.
Yeah, because it's almost like an addiction. There's something about it that you like once you figure out how it once you know the sounds in your head, being able to produce sound and through an instrument changes everything. Because for me anyway, that's how it was, and I fell in love with that feeling of creating something from literally nothing, right? So that's what hooked me, and because of that, again the synthesizer thing. I've dubbed into creating my own original sounds. Like I won't go and find some type of sound. If I want to know how to make it say a water droplet sound,
just get me to record.
I'll actually go online and look for tutorials on how to make one, and then from there I'll jump on a synthesizer and make my own, as opposed to have go get a sample of the sound and then just plug it in. I like that technical aspect of it, as opposed to
you'd rather go build it from scratch and take the easy way.
Exactly. But because of that, all of my stuff is unique to me.
Yeah.
Right? To my ear. No one else's. If you don't like it, that's not my problem.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have any more questions. I'm not even kidding. I'm running out.
We're not even halfway through this yet.
Okay. Well, back into sports now. If you say you do a lot of soccer, what position you play?
I played goalie, defense, center back, right back, defensive midfield.
Okay.
those are like my best position. Then my positional strength is goalie and defensive midfielder. I'm really good at those positions.
Yeah. I'm like everywhere.
I'm like everywhere. But you specifically play midfielder.
Yeah, I specifically play midfielder.
I hold the midfield. I think I'm pretty solid when I play holding midfield.
Yeah.
It's really funny. He played on a team. Well, we can't even really call that a team. So he played with this group of people. Let's put it that way. And I remember he got injured, and we went to go watch one of their games. And man, was that ever depressing.
The first 5 minutes, my brother's just like, your other team was better.
Yeah, because he used to play on a different team. And
like
those
actual
kids,
competitive soccer.
Those kids were amazing. Like, I mean, that whole team needs to get back together and keep playing. Because
I don't know what happened.
They were a really, really good team.
We were going to the plan was that for this month, we do indoor, like, for winter season.
Yeah.
And that never happened. So that's not happening. We were supposed to start in October. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. The level of organization that team has is like non-existent.
Well, I feel like it's not that it's the kids' fault. It's the parents' fault for not taking their child.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, we'll do it. And by the time like their gap to enter is done, they're like, okay, we're gonna do it. We're ready. And they're just like, no, you're too late now.
I did coach though. Cobras U10.
U10?
Yeah, I coached 2017, 2018, and we won the league and the League Cup.
Yeah.
In New Orleans. So, yeah, and I've been coaching since I was like 19. I coach guys older than me, much more mature than me, and I think all of that helped me learn so much from every team. I've coached at least 10 to 12 teams, different teams.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think
you're busy.
yeah, like competitive teams, regional league back home in Cameroon. I coached and we went all the way to the finals. A group of really solid guys, youngsters. And we went all the way to the finals of the FACO Regional League, like where I'm from. And we lost the finals to Mamo FC. Like another team from the area. So, but it was really solid. It ended 3-2.
Oh, wow. So it wasn't like a total loss. It was a very tight game. It was a number.
Yeah, it was a really tight game. And I coached some other pretty good teams too. But we didn't do Volcanic Warriors. Some other teams I coached. And then coached lots of female teams. As well, yeah, and I used my coaching to empower people, to teach them how to believe more in themselves, how to be more athletic and be more positive about life through sports.
See, that's the thing with man. Whenever I'm feeling down, I'll just walk into his office and start talking to him. He's really good at motivating you.
It's just like,
it's honestly true. Like the amount of times I'm like, I don't want to be here right now. I'll just walk into his office, like, look, this is what you gotta do. And I'll be like, and I'll get up and walk out.
Walk out of there with a smile.
Yeah, because it's like, he's right. Like, I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
But it's super interesting. But one of the, like in my case, our father is the soccer player in our case, and he got that inherent skill. I didn't get that. I didn't get that side of the family. I didn't get that gene. But like, I mean, I like watching it. I'm like, as opposed to playing it, I'd rather watch it than play it. I'll be there cheering.
So which team do you watch? You watch any soccer games on the TV?
Rarely now. I barely have time now.
Premier League?
Yeah, usually. Yeah. Well,
which team?
When we have time.
Which team do you?
We watch La Liga.
Which team? Which is your favorite team?
Oh, my favorite team.
Answer the question, Victor.
I think I'd have to go with Barca.
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Oh yeah, Barcelona is good though, but right now, no, they're not.
No, they're not. They're not doing this.
They're not so good.
Yeah.
Right now, but yeah, that's my mother club too. And then but I have Arsenal, but Arsenal too no. So they suck right now.
No, we like, what is it? One of the things, like, I used to care a lot. Now, I used to watch hockey, I used to watch soccer, I used to watch basketball, I used to watch like all of them. At one point I was even watching tennis, even curling at one point. But now I'm so busy with school. I don't like. Yeah. It's amazing I even have time to do this.
Yeah. So I actually owned the club I coached back home. I owned it. So I run it like the president and the coach as well.
Oh,
wow.
So it
wow.
was pretty intense.
Yeah.
And I was like 23 doing that.
I think we should,
Yeah.
if you're okay, can we talk about where you're from?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Sure.
why don't you ask him? Since you're the one asking questions.
So I've heard you're from Cameroon. What's what's the story? Like, what's the area? I guess. What kind of question am I asking you?
Do you not know where it
No,
is?
no, I don't know where it is.
Okay. So it's this place in like mid Africa, middle. It's like the middle. It's like the middle.
It's
of
actually the West African.
Yeah.
You don't even know
but-
where it is.
Well,
But
it's like in the middle.
it's considered Central
Yeah,
Africa.
that's why.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's never to Nigeria, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So like that's what I was trying.
Okay.
I was trying to say central. I just couldn't remember. That's why I said the middle.
No, Central,
Come on.
yeah. West Central.
Where are our parents from?
Oh
Central?
no, our father is from Central America. Your mother isn't from Central America.
Oh yeah.
She's
sorry.
from North America.
She's from North America. That's
She
right.
doesn't count.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But yeah, from what he's told me, it's really cool. It's a very interesting.
Cameroon is a pretty beautiful place because they speak two languages, like Canada, and they speak English and French. So it has a really solid system of education. So and if you like take your time and go to school, you'll be good if you go anywhere in the world.
It's a lot like here. You know, you got to go to school. Well, I mean,
I mean, there are not opportunities
Yeah.
there because of like the corrupt system of government. We have like one president for 38 years now. So yeah, that doesn't help things. So
For sure, yeah.
but we as a people are very smart people. So
yeah. What is it? You were showing me like the port part of like the city. It's really really nice. I was like, yo man, like I can't imagine.
like yeah,
like
where I'm from
like-
is like next to the Atlantic, the coastal Atlantic Ocean. So
Oh, okay.
So the
Oh,
ocean's like
yeah.
right there.
yeah, you
Yeah.
see
Right,
the
so I was
dark
like-
Black Sea right in front of you.
Oh, that's
You
cool.
see you walk the ocean.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it's beautiful.
Yeah, our father used to live like that off the coast of the Pacific Ocean on the
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
it's
says
beautiful.
that when he'd wake up to the sound of like the tide
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
in.
yeah.
He's like, because
And
that's all you hear.
You can always have like fresh fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fresh fish every evening, roasted, and you get really good.
Yeah, really good
And
fish.
yeah, the ocean's like literally
You
right
you
there.
get the good quality fish.
That's it. That's
yeah.
It's all about them
It's
quality.
Oh
not-
God, I'm eating fish today.
No, we're all gonna go home and buy some fish. What is it? No, we. Well, yeah, that like what would you say would be like a cultural dish from there?
Oh, we have like lots of cultural dishes, beautiful cultural dishes.
But what would you say would be like the one that like that's the must try?
Ew, fufu and ew is like must try.
Must try.
So an ew, it's like how will I put it? It's like the national dish.
It's like the national dish.
So it's like how everybody knows Mexico for tacos.
Yeah, exactly. It's like fufu and ew. Oh.
So what is it?
It's like some vegetable and with fufu, fermented yeast cassava, which you kind of process and put in a bag and keep. Then it has all this process they do.
Is it like a lot? It's like a lot of steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get really good food.
Oh, you know what?
It smells a little bit, but it's pretty.
I mean,
It's heavy.
oh, man, like,
And African men love to swallow. we love food that, you know, goes on
What is it?
and shit like that.
with the other places when we that's at our place,
Yeah.
we went to eat Korean food, and he's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Well, most people don't like this kind of food."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yo, man, if you put a plate in front of me, I'm gonna eat it." And he goes, "Seriously?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, you know, you can't say you don't like it until you try it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
that's
like,
it.
and I also like some of my Asian friends. I've gone to eat like real Asian food, like not like some Chinese food that isn't like it's Chinese, but it's not really Chinese. So like the flavoring is different and like culturally is different as well. And I'm like, and he's like, "You're the only non-Asian person I know that's willing to try literally anything." And I'm like, well, I mean, people have been doing it for thousands of years. If I'm gonna die eating it, I mean, then you'd all be dead right now. Like, your
Yeah.
people would have ceased to exist.
That's true.
You know, so I mean, it's worked for you guys. I mean, what's it gonna do to me?
That's true.
So yeah, it's always interesting, especially when it comes to culture. 'Cause every culture has like their own specific way of food. Like some people like salty food.
Yeah.
Some people like sweet food. Like
Yeah.
in Canada, we mix the two, sweet and salty, you know, because we got our maple syrup from one side.
Yeah, they got a lot of sweet and salty food.
Yeah.
With us, we go for like more of tasty, spicy, and less of like the beautiful look. But the food, we have so many variations of food. Like we have ndole, we have achu, which is very famous in the northwest, and
I'm gonna be googling all this stuff later.
yeah, those are like some really good food, which are really medicinal too in their content. So you eat just those healthy food, and you can get cancer. You can get all this. So sometimes like the canned food, it's not really the best food because it's all processed stuff. And,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so and even like the meat you eat back home is like they kill the cow that day.
Yeah.
And then sell it in the market. It's not like some processed stuff. Which is,
where also the fact that they start injecting the animals to help them grow bigger.
Exactly. So it all changes the dynamics of what you're eating and putting in your body. So your system becomes more, your immune system becomes more vulnerable to like all these things which are chemicals and all that. Yeah, but eating just healthy stuff. Like what we eat back home, you can live for like really good time. We have people living 100 plus.
Like
grandmothers who grind and hustled
for sure
back in the days, and they're doing 109, 110, and all that.
Yeah, there's a lady in the village in Mexico where my mom comes from that she's like 100 and something years old.
Yeah, she's 100.
Yeah, but now we can do that. We can have all that.
I think she turned 107.
If you see what she ate good food.
Well, the
traditional
the other thing
food.
too is like our
and she made her food herself.
Yeah, like the other thing too is like my mom's family, they're like genetically designed not to age. Like they all look like
very young.
Like my mom, like if you met my mom, like if you were to meet my mom, you'd think she's like in her early, like she could probably pass for her late 30s to be honest.
I think the thing I found with the system here is the fact that people don't have that time for themselves and no more. You know what I mean?
Well,
like where you come from, you have that time where you cook, take care of the family and do it normally. But you're always on the go.
Yeah.
Well, it's because we live in that, like the Western mentality is what you did today should have been done yesterday. So you're always behind regardless, right? So and everybody thinks like that. Like it's the biggest issue, like I think that we have here. But like what is it, for example, in Spain people have a siesta, right? So people like at 2 p.m. everything's closed. Everybody goes to take a nap.
That's something like with our culture, we have the control.
Yeah.
Like if we want to do the clubs till morning, we do it till morning. And the clubs will go to as long as maybe 6 sometimes in the morning. But it's 2. And then they have all these rules and all that rules and all these things and don't do that. And it's good, it keeps the system in control, but in the long run you get people who are struggling socially to interact.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's a big thing, especially with his generation.
Oh yeah.
They lack certain social things.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, we do.
I know
because we work with youth, so we see
because I see it.
Yeah.
And I know because I've done the things you guys need to do.
Yeah.
I bet you guys are not there.
Yeah.
And that's a big gap I see with our youth, so it's a worry.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed is there's a lot more hand holding, you know, they especially in school they hold your hand the whole way, and then you get to college or university, and you're basically on your own.
They let you go.
They don't let people grind for themselves.
Exactly.
People need to have a little desire to hustle.
Yeah.
And people are just being controlled the whole time. So you don't get the
they're
chance.
just listening to what they're supposed to do, right?
You don't get the chance. The system is really in control. So it's hard to have people being who they want to be and what they want to be.
Yeah. Remember when I was...
You got to break out of that circle.
Yeah,
break out of that box. But it's hard, really. So sometimes in the past, people had different ways they did it to break out of it. Smart guys. Like the Jay-Z's and all the other
like you drop Jay-Z. But it's a good example though.
But they do stuff, make money, legitimize and hustle.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But after that, you break the system already.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
it-
can't hold you back.
for sure.
You
Yeah,
become a system of your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you're running and you have people working for you.
Yeah.
Well, like what is it? We
And
have
all
a
that.
we have a friend who he's
Yeah,
like
Michael Jackson. If he didn't got so fooled by funny stuff and
Yeah.
he lost his whatever he lost.
well, like what is
He
it?
lost his identity.
Yeah.
For me, that's what I saw with him.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate story.
Mhm.
Honestly, but man, like you know, to me, what's crazy is that his music though. Like if like you had never heard of Michael Jackson
Yeah.
and I played you one of his songs, like let's say "Beat It" for example, and I told you it came out yesterday, you'd probably believe me.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
His
He's
song-
still
His music is
Billboard-
timeless.
The Billboards and the Forbes released top 5 richest artists who are dead who are making money. He's still second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because his music
I
is
think he was still among the top 5 with Bob Marley. They're still making crazy money.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the music they did, and these people are gone a while ago now, and he's still like second on this chart.
Yes,
That
because
tells you that his music is still top there making money.
Yeah, it's
and
just-
Nipsey Hussle was also there
Yeah.
for 2019 artists who died who were making lots of money.
Yeah, it's
Whose musics are making crazy money. Nipsey Hussle was there, and some other cool people who died this year.
yeah, but
XXX.
XXX extension.
Yeah.
Yeah, he that's
Yeah.
kind of hurts when you talk about that.
yeah.
'Cause he literally got killed.
Yeah.
I know. And I love his music.
Yeah,
Like,
he has good
he-
music.
His album, they released it with like even the beats of the songs he didn't sing.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
kind
like,
of
what is it? They
sad.
say that Michael Jackson had so many songs in the vault because, like, if you don't release
No,
a song,
with Michael,
Yeah.
he doesn't even need songs in the vault.
I know.
His songs are the vault. Right? People can't do music that good even now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't beat it. So even kids are gonna come and still wanna hear that one.
Oh, for sure.
It's
Yeah,
like, guys, now I just I saw this advert this morning, like this post. One of my friends put a post and on their IG, and it was like, I grew up listening to rappers who sold drugs, and now these kids nowadays are rappers who take drugs.
Yeah.
So this is nothing from this is like weak. It's so
Yeah.
weak.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? And you see what they became.
Yeah.
You're taking the drugs. What are you becoming?
Yeah.
Right? So
Well, like,
it tells you like
you know, when it comes to rap, like, I think, like, to be honest, rap should be used
to empower people.
exactly
Yeah.
like what it's like Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Some of the things he
You
raps
heard
about,
D-Smoke?
yeah, but like
He's
some
pretty good
yeah.
too.
Some of the things, like, for example, Kendrick raps about,
Uh.
like, no one had ever done that. You know, like it's
J. Cole is
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
amazing. He's a Bible of his own.
yeah, he's a Bible.
He's a Bible of his own. Like, he's a Bible. No kidding.
Some of the things are like
He's an inspiration. He's a
It's-
prophet to the world.
it's really interesting how they go about that. Like, and it's honestly, like, most of it's just taking a chance. You know, like, they take the risk, and if people don't like it, you know, like, they're willing to fail. Like, what is that, Kanye's new album?
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like he's like, I'm a Christian now, and
Yeah.
what is it? Recently, he said he's going to stop performing his old music.
Yeah,
Because it's not representative of him
with
now.
the thing he's doing is really good.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to enlighten the world that there's God.
Yeah.
But the way Christianity has made it, it's killing it. It's killing the presence of God. It's killing the acknowledgement of God, which people are not acknowledging anymore. That we have a maker who created the world, who created us, who made this world, who's the King of Kings. That's what is acknowledging. But now we have Islam and radical Islam and all this other Christian religion.
Well, even like with
Having
within
to-
Christianity, there was radical way back. There was radicalism
yeah,
even within
exactly. But
Christianity.
what the context is, they're all trying to claim they're right. They're right. But they're missing the point of the fact that we're all trying to serve a supreme being. Whether be it 5 supreme beings or 7 supreme beings or whosoever it is you're serving, you're acknowledging the fact that there is a supreme being. Let's just acknowledge that fact and stop trying to use mediums to control people.
Well,
You know what I
religion has
mean?
amazing-
And that's a big part of where religion his music and what he's doing now comes in. If you just put yourself in that spirit of worship, you already acknowledge God. Yeah, and that's it. That's good enough. You don't need someone coming to tell you what you have to do or how you have to be. Or,
what is it? The other day, we were having this conversation actually in your office.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I go, so I this is like my response. I'm like, so you're really religious? And he goes, no, spiritual.
I can't say I'm religious.
No, but the way you said it though, like hit so hard. I
can't say I'm religious because I don't believe in religion.
No,
because
but
I think all of that has just boiled down to trying to control people.
Yeah, so you'd
It's
rather
a system trying to control people in a very funny way.
So you'd rather not call yourself a religious person,
No.
to not put yourself in that group of people.
No.
Yeah.
So I would rather just say I'm spiritual in the fact that I acknowledge the fact we have a supreme being that created us and gave us all these potentials and gifts.
What is it? There was but in that
you
conversation, there was something. I can't remember what you said. I told you to write it down. I'm like, this is a bar. Write this down. Because there was something you said that I was like, this is write that down. Claim it as your own.
He's created us, giving us all these gifts and potentials, and people are not living up to them.
For sure, yeah. Like
People are not living up to them because they are being controlled. And because they're being controlled by a few people that want to keep controlling the world. So they would bring different systems of control and manipulation.
It's kind of like the government.
So the government is just one of them.
Yeah. Like
the church is another one of them.
Yeah.
And so all of this are just adding up to give you what you have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it also depends on like
But-
the church, right?
But
Like
you
the
have-
Catholic
you have-
Church.
yeah,
the
you
Mormon
have to-
church,
Yeah.
You have
But
to now the
what's-
church is losing its power because people are becoming more smart. They are becoming aware, right? But I think what Kanye West does with his music now is still bringing the acknowledgement of the fact that there's God
Yeah.
as a king.
I think it's.
And
Did you ever see
he's
that video I
America.
told you to watch of him? Did you ever see it? The James Gordon one where he's on the plane.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's
With
it's
Kanye.
actually like crazy. He's like, I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't.
Okay, so Kanye did this like carpool karaoke type video. This came out a while ago now, but with James Gordon. But they're on a plane, and he's literally traveling around with like a choir, and they're like, it's like literally like a choir on the plane with him. And I'm like, that's nuts. Like, and like the thing that they do in that and Kanye what is it? James asks him how he knew he'd become famous, and he says the exact line. He said that when he wrote it, he knew his life would change forever. He knows the exact line. He knows, and I'm like, that's confidence, and that's what we lack as like a society. A lot of us lack confidence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if we all had that kind of confidence, we'd all be who we want to be in life.
I think in a huge part, the gender-based violence has played a huge part as well in the culture here in the West.
Yeah.
To kill the confidence of people, you know what I mean? And I think it needs lots of uplifting for the guys and definitely like all the genders.
Yeah.
So that people feel empowered and not just some genders feels empowered.
So we're
almost done.
Almost
done.
But do you have any final thoughts, comments, concerns, Victor? Because you're looking at me like you're just like I need a moment to take this all in.
No, I have no comments. I have no comments. Where are we going?
He's like, that got so deep.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if I told you this, but you have this way of, it's almost hypnotic when you're talking about stuff like this, because like you can feel the passion that you have towards it, and that you're in the know. You're not just.
It's
you're
because
just not talking.
I feel like the world is changing in a very funny dynamics right now.
For sure,
and
yeah.
It's not positive.
Yeah.
And we have to enlighten people to be more aware of what the dynamics is. It's all a race war and all of global competition. So it's all about people getting consciousness of what they are in. And knowing who they are, and you have to be passionate about that because it's the next generations and the other generations coming. If we're saying that we're losing all these dynamics and all this social dynamics, and all this is hard to connect, and social depression among the youth and all that, then what are we preparing the next generation for? You know what I mean? So it's something you have to be passionate about if you want to be able to know that you're living ahead, the world a better place.
For sure, yeah. All right. We are almost out of time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how else to end that. But be positive.
Be positive. Be happy.
That's it.
Pursue what you enjoy.
It's all about it's all about being who you think, being the true you, expressing yourself, and having the love you have for yourself to others. The things you would treat yourself with, treat others with it. Same way you want to be treated, treat others that way. With respect, with love, with care.
Look, I think you should look into becoming a motivational speaker. I think you should look at it as a possible career field.
It's just being real.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean?
Yeah. The way you want to treat others, or you want to be treated, treat others that way. That's it. And you see how beautiful the world. And people just miss that. Yeah. People just miss that and try to focus on some thought or some perception they have of someone, and not take time to know people. So it's hard. It's about educating yourself about people. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to wrap up?
Yep, it's that time now. Okay. This has been Two Latin Brothers podcast. We're on like almost every platform except YouTube and SoundCloud. You guys can like, share, and subscribe. Share with others. If you guys go on Anchor, you guys can leave us like a comment, or if you guys have a question or like something for us to do, you guys can always leave that.
Also listen in the description.
Yeah, if you want to shout yourself out, your Instagram.
This is Emmanuel Douala, and you can follow me on my Instagram, Douala Official, on Snapchat, Douala Official, and on Facebook, Emmanuel Douala Coco.
Okay.
All right. I'll link your Instagram, and I think everything else is linked there as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll link his Instagram, and then all his other stuff is probably in his bio.
Yeah. Okay. So this has been Two Latin Brothers podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.